Hello everybody, we are back again, another live stream. Let's see if we have some people, and today is the subject using controllers for expression. And as you can see in the upper corner, I use this little thing here. Most call it a ribbon controller, but it's not really ribbon type. It's not, but it's a controller 11, MIDI controller 11. It is. So, and I wanted to show you what you can do with that, with controllers, using them for dynamic changes to your sound. So, hello, Athi, Studio DreamWorks, Kisaka, Toshihiro. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. And yeah, everybody, welcome. And I started out with a lead sound from Predator 3. All right, let's go back. And this is Blade bit. So I took 3 instruments, and all 3 of them are having the controller added. And of course, you also have other options to do yourself. And so here's the lead sound. And it's a from the user, simply from the factory patches. It's called Roberto Lead. And the only change I did is here in the mod matrix, I addressed the expression controller. So if you go to MIDI, the expression controller is essentially controller 11. And I did set this to filter 1 frequency. So once I start moving this here, it opens the filter. So this is something you can do. I saved this sound, but it's something you also can do yourself. If you have, for instance, a keyboard like this, or maybe you have other different MIDI keyboard, and you could also use one of the faders, or controllers to do this. Of course, it's a bit difficult if you have to move up with your hand for changing the dials. Most keyboards have the modulation wheel and the pitch wheel. Modulation wheel is mostly done for vibrato, especially in this sound. You can hear this. So I use the additional controller here for changing the filter. And in the BIT sound, which I also did save, so in an update it will be appearing. Okay, let's open BIT. Give me a second. Here it comes. There you see also source expression, so MIDI controller 11 to the oscillator 2 semi-pitch. And this sound is a sync oscillator sync sound, which means that this oscillator sync to 1, it synchronizes the waveform of oscillator 2 with the waveform of oscillator 1. And if you change then the pitch of the oscillator 2, it changes in color. So there's a pitch envelope active, and then you get this typical sync sound. And then by changing again the pitch by using the slider here, So it's more also maybe from the jar. People know it maybe from the laser harp. We have that preset inside Predator 3. Let me see. Laser harp. I think it's in... No, that's the... Let me see where we find it. It's now all alphabetically. Laser harp. Okay, here it is. It's also typical sync sound. And in this case, Oscillator 2, you see sync is on. So this sync, which you see in Oscillator 2 or in BIT, has nothing to do with MIDI sync, tempo sync. This means that the waveform synchronizes with the Oscillator 1. And then you get these typical sounds. So if I would get away with this pitch envelope, let's see how it's done. I think in the mod matrix, filter 1 envelope I'm using. So if I do bypass, this is without the sync. And now, sorry, without the filter envelope, changing the pitch of Oscillator 2. And if I would put off the sync, then you hear that it's only changing the pitch. But once you put sync on, it changes the pitch, but the waveform is synchronized to the first oscillator, and then you get this strange side effect in the sound, which is this typical sync sound. So also here I could say, use MIDI expression as a MIDI controller and address that again to Oscillator 2 semi, and then yeah, so there I could use it as well. So yeah, and what I did inside Blade, it's totally different because Blade has the additive waveforms in a dynamic way. You have the harmonizer way in which you change the harmonic content. So here you can see waveform or harmonic. Okay, let's do this dynamically. So what I use here is in the modulation matrix. You see the expression, this fader is used to change the harm base. The fundamental is shifting. So and that makes it very straight. So you can make very changing sounds. If I use here a different type of waveform, let's see what happens. It doesn't influence that much. Oh, because it's on timbre. 1 second. I could use also, of course, a other feature. Let me see. So what I first do is I turn these dials, so I have this harmonizer, and to see what is effective, I simply try out. Okay, this works nice. So this ripple width I will use here. I use drag and drop, so I put that one on 0 and use the expression on the harm ripple width. So let's see what happens. You see the outer ring, you see changes. Yeah, Blade 2 is a very special synthesizer from that subject. You can do very different things with this machine. You see? So I can use other things. It's very often trial and error. still, you make a very nice sound this way. So using the modulation matrix, and if you have a keyboard which has a ribbon controller, I mean this complete control has it, I find the spot a little bit, I rather have it up here, because if you're using these modulation wheel and pitch bend, you can hit this one by accident, and then of course you have suddenly a change if this one is addressed, which is maybe not what you want to have. Okay, so that's about today. Let's go back to the people in the chat room. Yeah, I see some more people. Yeah, let's see if any questions. On the way. Yeah, a controller. Yeah, well, this one here, the slider, which I'm using here on Blade 2, is controller 11, basic controller. And I use it on the Predator lead sound. Where is it again? Not on this one. I use it on the Robot. Where is it again? Where are we? Was it in synth 1? Yeah, it should be here. Alphabetically. Oh, here it is. On the Roberto lead. I use this here. You see, expression filter 1. Of course, the Roberto lead currently in your Predator 3 doesn't have this address, but you can go to the mod matrix. So if you go here from this page, you go to the mod matrix. You select source MIDI expression, which is controller 11, and address this to the filter 1, and I use 20%. So, you hear that? Of course, the controllers are really for the dynamic changes. You have the pitch wheel, the modulation wheel for modulation, vibrato, for instance. But then this third one you could use for something different. So that's a cool thing. It gives you expression in the sound. It makes it far more alive. Okay, let's see what the chat room has to say. Yeah, the latest news is that Blade 2 is now VST3 compatible. Also Sub-on Bass 2. So we slowly get all our instruments compatible with VST3. We work on an update for RPverb 2 to have bigger screen sizes, also VST3, and the audio follower will be inside. So the envelope which is inside, you can make it also trigger on something else. So that will be very interesting for RPverb 2. Gets a very cool new feature. Of course, that will be early next year, but yeah, if you own the Explorer 7, wise to download again, because Master Magic we did update a few weeks ago with different user interfaces, VST3 support. We updated Sub-on Bass 2 with VST3, Blade 2 with VST3, so lots of things we have done. So, yeah, I'm reading. I think more, I'm not sure, I think with VST, it's already the case that if you don't play it, that it doesn't compute. Maybe with VST, it's a bit more different. The VST difference in general, the biggest difference, I think it's some some smaller parts. But the strange thing is that VST3 currently doesn't respond to program change, which totally surprised me. So that we found out. But VST3 is very important for FX, especially if you want to use a sidechain. Especially with Cubase, you need a VST3 plugin to do the sidechain. And of course, now with Predator 3, it's possible also to use the sidechain as an input. And we did that in a few videos, see before. So here in this multi-page, you can see that there's a follower, which is an audio follower. And there you can do some cool sidechain things with Predator 3. Yeah, Predator 3 also was updated. We had a few little bugs. The one I mentioned last week, which is gone now, which was in the multi-envelope. If you had loop active, then we had a very fuzzy release label down here. And some other small things we did fix. That if something is used, you can see it down here. You see the pitch LFO is used, and you see the little dot pops up. That indicates that something is active. So the next part we are doing now currently is making Predator 3 Anchor as compatible. We check all the presets, which was a lot of work on their tagging volume. So we had a lot of other things to do for Predator 3 the recent weeks. Very busy with checking all the presets. So I don't think we get the Anchor as this month, because you get all the holiday season things. So that will be early January. And then it includes some more presets. So the early January we will have some new presets for Predator 3 and Anchor as support. So in general, VST3, it took a while before it did pick up, because it was already presented, I think, 15 years ago. But VST 2.3 was still a standard. So in terms of performance, I don't think you will notice much difference. Okay. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's make some noise, I would say. Yeah, another news I received, because maybe some people know that, my very first sound set was for the microwave. The original microwave one from the, it was released in 1989, so about 30 years ago. And let's see if I can take my webcam here and move that up a little bit. And today I received the M. So I need to check the chat room if I'm correctly with the video. Maybe it's not good. I need to go a bit more to the left. Oh, there's a big delay between these streaming. So I watch what you are watching, but there's a big delay between it. Terrible. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that's the blue one. You see, that's the M1. Oh, sorry, the M, the new from Waldorf. And below is the original microwave. And today I'm loading in the presets I created. So the very first preset I created was the signature card. Sorry for this. And I loaded him in, and the only thing I noticed was there was a difference in octave setting. So what I could do now for you, because I have them connected, give me a second. You can still see me. So what you hear now is the very first preset. I need to go back here and select another MIDI channel. No, that's Predator. And now MIDI out. This is the, let me see, this is the M. So this is the new Waldorf. It's dry. And when I switch here, this is the original microwave. The preset is called Picchio Brass. It's more a classic analog type synth sound. So this was the original microwave, and this is the bit volume difference, but it's pretty close. And I did dump the sound into it. There was only one difference, is that the original sound in the M sounded 1 octave higher. Very odd, but that had to do with the different use of standards. So C3 is in the Yamaha different from some other MIDI standards. So it's not a standard. So I need to adjust these presets. And the second preset is far more a microwave sound. And that sound is called Alien Instrument. And you heard the M. And now I will play it with the original microwave. It's a tiny bit different. Of course, it's much nicer. It's all very dry, although with this sound, it's not that much of a problem. What I can do is what you can see here. They come in on the input, so I can put on some delay. So my voice also has delay. That was the original microwave. And this one is the M. Yeah, this machine doesn't have just like the original microwave, it doesn't have a reverb or delay. And of course, if you use a little bit of reverb, the thing sounds better. So if I go back, it's a very long sound, isn't it? So I. Yeah, I sound like in a dungeon, but you hear with this brass with a reverb on it, it's much nicer. So with this hardware, you need an external quality delay or reverb to get the sound really, really nice. But it's a fun thing. So this was really my first project, public sounds I created. There was the techno card, which very harsh sounds. You had the double red, which was the last one I created. And of course the signature card. And so what I will do, because I'm always been a Waldorf fan, is of course I convert the sounds to this M, this new machine. I will correct things because yeah, it's a conversion. If there are little things like the octave setting, and then save it again and make these available also for the amp synthesizer. And that's what I today posted on Facebook and also Instagram. So on which the picture you can see my microwave with the controller from Access. the Waldorf Pulse and this new Waldorf M. Okay. Could you set up a sidechain for us? I see Tom Aldrich. Yeah, definitely. You want to have a sidechain, but I think then also for Predator. I think. Okay, let's see what we can do. I take Predator now. So we have already some presets, and essentially, I think in this EDM bank, I have a sidechain, pad 1. And of course, if you play this sound without the sidechain, I put it off. It's simply a, pad. So, and that's different in each synthesizer, or not synthesizer, each music host, how to connect this to the synthesizer. In Cubase, it's arranged this way. You have your things playing. Now here a bass, a kick, and let's say you want to have the bass. So you go here, up here, you put on the sidechain, and then you click this icon here, and then you select the track. I have punch 1, but I could select here, I throw this away and pick here the Predator 3, which you can hear. So, and then close it. These are the controls, so essentially you get the sound, but you can still shape it, make it a slow attack. And now it's set to the amp volume, but you can use also something else. You can address also, let's say, the high pass filter. So you pick the filter, high pass filter as a destination. And the bass is a bit dark. Let's make it a little brighter. Oops. So you have 4 destinations already. Can even put the original filter. So that's the sidechain, and yeah, you can use it also on more digital type of sound. I think I use it also. Oh no, that's the XY. Of course, you, instead of using a sidechain, you also could use the XY for creating these type of sounds, because the XY can be automated in terms of the movement. Of course, you need to play on tempo. Essentially, it sounds like sidechain, but essentially the XY is used to control the filter frequency and the main volume. So you don't always have to use the sidechain for these type of sounds. You can also use the XY for this. And in the Predator 2, I have many presets which do this. But sidechain of its own also is interesting, of course. Maybe I have some other ones. Sidechain unascent one. Let me see. Then I need to put it on, of course. Here, up here. See what happens on this bass. It's a bit ribbly. Ay ay. Need to really experiment with this sidechain thing. I had some of the presets. I think there was also some more. And it depends also what you have as source. If you have now it's the bass, but I also could then pick the something else. Without sidechain, and now with sidechain. Yeah, what I was experimenting with today was also something else. I played a little melody, and it's in my own bank, the raw bank. It's called Test 1. Hear that? I did something else here to experiment. I created a little silly melody. Okay, so check this out. Don't shoot me down because of the melody. But I just want to I was using here the modulation matrix, the filter LFO on the FX1 mix, which is the reverb. And if I go to this filter LFO, where are you? Here. And on the FX, so maybe even interesting on let's take a delay, stereo delay. And to the filter LFO. Where are you, baby? Free LFO, filter LFO. Control the FX2. Let's go crazy. The left delay. not a good one. Then let's try the mix also from FX2. Interesting, interesting. Okay, let's third FX. Let's take the chorus. Again, the filter LFO. FX3. FX3 mix. Or negative. Interesting, isn't it? So now I bypass it. So this is the melody without the. Oh yeah, here it is, the filter LFO. Okay, and now I put on the modulation on the FX1, 2, and 3 mix. And also the LFO on the filter. Maybe another filter type. Okay. Just keep on experimenting. Nice. And then we make it more spacey. I do the modulation wheel, controlling the cutoff frequency. Okay, then it throws away this one, okay. And the modulation wheel I can use again to control the feedback of the delay. Feedback to delay. And the high pass filter. Of course, I need to put on the high pass filter. Let's see what happens. I open now the modulation wheel. Oh, makes it totally gone. Now the delay. Yeah, funny, isn't it, what you can do simply by using the filter LFO, just one LFO, which is in this synthesizer. It's MIDI tempo synced. It's in the free mode, and it controls the FX of Predator 3. And I think for Psytrance, this could be interesting, maybe. It's just an idea. I will save this one. Save preset as... yeah, how I call this? The FX LFO fun. Okay, it's saved. Okay, so I hope you can follow me a little bit. So what I did, I used the filter LFO using the modulation matrix to control the FX, and you see it moving around here. And I play the melody here in the it becomes really weird in the stereo panning. So yeah, I mean, that's also what you can do with Predator. So let's see if you can follow me in the what kind of interface are you using? Okay, I need to check now the chat room, of course, with the questions. Okay, you still can see me? Yeah. I use I have my main computer. I have a PC as a main computer, and I have a laptop, a Mac for checking our software. My main computer is a PC, and this one is still my i7. But today, or yesterday, it was this week that I received the new computer, which is in a 19-inch rack thing, and I like RME because they are very good in sound, very low latency. They are not cheap, but they have a very good support. So I have a Hammerfall for this computer, which is already very older, but the other one, the newer one, is a UC interface again, and it's I will show you a picture next week. Of course, it's a lot of work, and you know the fun if you have a new computer to install everything. It's but of course it has to be done. Although I must say this computer is still okay and powerful enough, but at a given time you need to switch. This one is already 9 years old. Amazing, and I did upgrade it. I mentioned that before. It initially started with Windows 7, then it had Windows 10 in an update, and I updated the graphic interface, so a better graphic card, and then later on also a SSD, and then you have a totally different computer again. So after a few years, if you have an older system, maybe if you have an older system with still the old style hard disk, if you put in a SSD, it's as having a new computer. It's unbelievable. What is the specs of your new computer? Well, it's an i9. That's what it is, and 3 hard disks inside of it. So I tell next week I can show it to you. It's only 19-inch. Rack, so it's in a Surfer 19-inch box, because I also want to have this one on stage as my main sequencer. So I have not a normal box for the computer, but a 19-inch Surfer box. Okay. Which preset? Somebody asked about which preset which I should download. I think this one which I played, this lead sound, is inside the current version of Predator. Oh, the only thing what I did is it's called the Roberto lead. Is using the expression as a source to control the filter 1. So in the next update, you will see it here. But in your current version of Predator 3, you have the Roberto lead already in the bank 003 synth 01. There's the Roberto lead, and you can play. So that one is very nice, and you have the additional expression here. This one, yeah, you will find it in Predator 3, the Roberto lead. It's very close to the type of a minimal style lead sound. Then, what my current computer, I think it's 3400 4-core. I mean, they are very different with the i7. You have 8-core or 8-core. Mine is a 4-core. But still, you can make a lot of noise with it. I mean, okay, I see Eternity. Thank you. Yeah. The point is with a computer, it's as fast as your weakest point. So if you have a very fast processor, but you have slow hard disk, then your performance go down. If you have a bad graphic card, then your performance goes down as well. We had the issue with Predator 3. Some people had the built-in graphic card, and it really had trouble with this waveform. It made the the interface of Predator 3 is sloppy, so we added in the latest version of Predator this graphic feature where you can put off the 3D animation being active or not. It's also the case that you can show wave screen on preset change. You can put that off, because now you see if I go to the ARP screen, it stays on the ARP screen even if I go on the next page. And yeah, and for the ones which are a little bit later, I can maybe show you 1 second. I can show you what I'm doing with the NKS, what that will be. So give me a second. Add instrument, and I load here. Should be able to. Okay, I need to find where it is. Other, complete control. Aha, here it comes. Here we have machine, and then in machine you will have, once we release Predator 3. Here it is. Okay. Oh, it's only the default preset. Okay, I open it now, so we don't. John is converting everything, but I can show you already what controller layout I have. You see here, this the. Let's open it. Come on, yeah. Here I open Predator in machine, so it's a host inside a host. But I already can pick here a different preset. That doesn't matter. Okay. Now, you see here on my keyboard, let's see if you can see it, guys, in the live stream. My keyboard, you don't see the dials, I think. No. How can I arrange that for you? 1 second. Let's pull that down a little bit. Now you can see my dials. And the first dial is the X from the Y. So here's the X, Y, and speed. So now watch here. So here's machine, is that I can control the X and Y. Yeah, and other controls are, for instance, the amp envelope, the volume, the main volume, but also if you want slow attack. Okay. And we added also the arpeggiator pages, which is interesting. Only arpeggiator A, because we have 4 arpeggiators, that will be too many pages. But here you can see you can change the tuning or the velocity of each arpeggiator. So if I would go here to a patch which has a arpeggiator, so let me see which one I should take. No, let's, yeah, this one. It's the ARP. Okay, let's select only ARP A. And I can use the dials here to tune. And then the other pages are velocity, tune. Okay, 1 second. sidechain input. How is that possible? Oh, you have here sidechain input as well in machine. Okay, but I wanna, yeah, lengths. You can control the lengths, which is a new down here. You see step lengths. Let's make 8 steps. So now controls the short. So I totally messed up, but these things are just controllable. So let's go to another thing. So now it's so these are the pages which appears on your, and the first page is then essentially the XY, the sustain release. Then you got the next page. You also oscillator. I can change the morphing if it's active, and then you go to the next page. Would be the filter. I can change or the filter envelope. So that's cool. That is a cool thing. If you have the complete control, you can change the parameters of Predator 3. And instead of using the mouse, you also have, yeah, the dials give a special feeling to controlling it. So that's what we work on currently. So today, yeah, I talked about the controllers. Using this little fader here for doing some special stuff. You can do it on every Papen synthesizer. Essentially, if you go to the modulation matrix and you pick here the expression to change, for instance, this the ripple thing, or by this this lead sound I had. Where was it again? Which was here, where I use it as a kind of expression. What was it again? Yeah, it's this one. Using the mod matrix. Really gives some fine expression to the leads, or sounds, change them over time. So that was a little bit about today with some products, showing what you can do with the fine controllers. If you have a ribbon controller or something like this, you have, of course, also aftertouch. If your keyboard have aftertouch, that it adds vibrato or opens the filter, modulation wheel, the pitch band. And of course, the pitch band, if it's not used for leads, you can also use it for other things to control the speed of a wobble, that kind of thing. Now it's on the pitch. But if you have a wobble, you can also use it to control the wobble or the speed of the XY. I'm not sure if I have a preset here. Let me see. Yeah, here you see in the XY, it's this pitch band is control. It's used to. And the cool thing about pitch band, if you go down, it goes slower. You see the dot moves slower. And if you go faster, of course, you need to shut down the pitch bend in the play mode for being normally pitch bend. So the pitch bend also can be used in a different way as controller. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the live stream a little bit. If you missed the start, yeah, go from the start, and you can always check it in the playlist, live streams. And next week we have another live stream, of course, and maybe you have an idea about a certain subject. There was one person who did mention about doing some cool things with Blade 2 for making psytrance sounds. And yeah, today I already did some things with the Predator 3. Let me see, that was this preset, the FX LFO fun, which was this one. See here, changing the FX. So I'm checking now the chat room. If I should make this one downloadable, then I will put it in the info section below the YouTube video so you can download it. Okay, so let's go back to the live stream, to the chat room. Okay, let's have something visible, always on top. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's the case with computers is that, let's say if your computer is just like mine, 9 years old, it's still very good. So the biggest changes from Pentium 3 to Pentium 4 to Pentium 5, these big changes are not that big anymore, because essentially with a computer from 5-6 years ago, you could do amazing things. And so from that thing, it's, yeah, no, this main computer now will be my backup. And of course, I'm curious how things will work out on this new i9 computer. And I'll keep you posted once I'm streaming with it. I'll let you know, of course. So yeah, the other news is that Blade 2 is now NKS compatible, Sublime Base 2, and we work now also on RP Verb 2 to have it VST3 compatible. Oh no, I did it the wrong way. Blade 2 and Sublime Base 2 are VST3 compatible, not NKS, they are already. So VST3 compatible, but also Blue RP Verb 2 will be VST3 compatible. And then the audio follower can be used for very interesting things as a sidechain. But that will pop up once we have that. And of course, then with RP Verb 2, if you look at RP Verb now, give me 1 second. It's on my screen a bit small, not a problem. It's reverse active. So this one we will have here, the envelope follower will have an additional input. So then you can use this bass drum to control, yeah, the reverb and do some very strange things. So that's also in progress. Most likely in January we'll have then RP Verb 2, the update. So we keep on updating, making things even cooler as they are already. Okay, so yeah, we go into the holiday season, and Tom Aldrich was so cool to send again a new song, and it's called We Three Kings. So let's play this, and thanks Tom again for sending it in, and we are going to enjoy it. Maybe you can mention in the chat room what you used in this song, and we are going to enjoy it. And thanks for now, guys, and let's enjoy another demo by Tom Aldrich.